Yeah, hello. My name is Yomi Fawemi. I'm an HR professional and I practice HR in Nigeria and Canada and parts of the US and West Africa for a couple of years. And part of what I try to do is to help people understand how the workplace works. Perhaps the most topical issue in Nigeria today is a question of the resignation of the now former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and his replacement by an acting Inspector General of Police in the person of AIG Tunji Disu. For many Lagosians, Tunji Disu is somebody they know very well. He had been in Lagos for a while. He was the head of RRS at a point. I think at the point he was a DPO. He had been Commissioner of Police in Rivers State and also Commissioner of Police, I think, at the FCT. And he has had a very decent social media profile. So many people have a lot of expectations around him. I mean, I wish him all the best. I keep my fingers crossed about him. But as an HR person, anytime this appointment happens, there are certain things I look out for, and I ask myself, will anything be different? One of the things I look out for, particularly in the police, is the question of the rank of the person that was appointed as the AIG. It has almost become practice now that when we appoint a new IG, we will almost ignore a set of the seniors and then go under. So in this case, they are Deputy Inspector General of Police that should have that could have been considered, and they went to pick an Assistant Inspector General of Police. Now, what then therefore happens is that there's an expectation that those Deputy Inspector General of Police will have to retire compulsorily because their junior has become the IG. And many Nigerians believe that that is the right thing or that is the legal thing. What we must always know is that in labor law and employment law, if something is not legal, it is not legal, even though it could be practiced. There have been two people in Nigeria that has gone to court from the Nigerian police force who went through this process. I'm sure you remember AIG Umbu. I think he was the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State at a point. He became an AIG, and he was compulsory retired. In this case, so he went to court and said, you can't compulsory retire me because my junior became the IG. I mean, our employments are not tied. And in a case decided in 2023 by Lady Justice Obaseki Osagi, she argued that I have to keep my job. The law in Nigeria says you can't retire me, because he claimed that according to the Nigerian law, particularly section 318 of the Nigerian Constitution, is a public officer or is in a public service, and the public service defines to include people in the police and the army, and therefore it should be bound by public service rules. And public service rules says you should either retire at I think it's age 60 or 35 years. I think that is rule. I can't remember the particular reference of the rule. That since he is a public servant, and he should be bound by the public service rule, he is not yet 60 and he has not served at 5. So he went to court. He also argued that he was not given a letter of retirement, right? That he just said he was retired and all of that. And the Honorable Justice ruled and said that one, the retirement was unlawful. I'm using exact word, unconstitutional and void. That you cannot retire somebody in Nigerian police force just because his senior is now the AIG. Says it's unlawful, it's unconstitutional and void. Then my lord then also set aside that judgment. So technically he was not retired. And then, of course, interestingly, you'll be shocked about this. The court actually awarded him 40 million naira against the Police Service Commission for unlawful retirement, and then awarded him 750,000 for cost of action. So the Police Service Commission, remember the Police Service Commission is the HR body of the police, was fined 40 million naira for compulsory retiring someone because his junior became there. So I don't know what is in the mind of the current people that will be forced to retire. If you want to go to court, I've already told you about the case. Joseph Umbu versus Police Service Commission decided 2023. As if that was not enough, another person was retired at another time. In this case, it was Moses Jibuto that was retired. In his own case, his own argument was that I was just retired. I was not even given a letter. I just heard I was retired. He didn't argue. This is the second case, interestingly decided by the same justice and at the National Industrial Court of Nigeria. And the justice brilliantly said that there's no policy in the Nigerian police force that says that you must retire because your junior has become AIG. There's no policy that says so. She also said that because of the fact that this man is a public servant, he should be guided by the public service rules that said he should work for 35 years or 60 years, whichever comes first. Therefore, you can't retire him because his junior has become the AIG. And so she declared the retirement as unlawful, void, and also of no effect. And then, in the former case, it was AIG Umbu was awarded 40 million for damages. In this case, that was decided just last year, 2025. The Jibuto was awarded 50 million for embarrassment, pain, and stigma. Did you hear that? That the police service commission compulsory retirement of that man cost him embarrassment, cost him pain, and cost him stigma. And then the court said, give him 50 million naira. That's a lot of money. In his own case, he was reinstated to the police force. Now, in the case of Umbu, by the time the decision was taken, he has already passed the retirement age. So the court said, we can't reinstate you because of the fact that if this action was not taken, you will have retired. But in the case of Jibuto, the court said, well, reinstate you, go back to the police and go and serve. If you are willing to serve, go and serve. And he was reinstated. Of course, he was also given 750,000 naira as cost of action. 2 cases. One decided in 2023, one decided in 2025. I am shocked that the police did not learn from this, or the police service, or the president, or did not. Because what is most unfortunate is the fact that the case of the Jibuto one, the later case I had known, was signed by Solomon Arase, the former Inspector General of Police, the chairman of the Police Service Commission. So and somebody took an action as IG, became chairperson of the police service, then you should be able to ensure it doesn't happen again. Why do we continue to retire professionals just because we want to go and pick their junior? I mean, I remember I was reading an article by Segun Adeni in his column last week, where he was talking about the high number of retired generals we have in Nigeria. They have just been retired and we're not maximizing them. I mean, look at all the DIGs that may have to go, or even in some cases, some AIGs that will have to go just because of this appointment. And I think it's a practice we need to do. It's now become not just a wrong practice, it has been declared as unconstitutional. So I don't know what is going to happen to all those DIGs, but if I was in your shoes, I will not retire. I will let them retire me, because of the fact that and then I can go to court and get my own 40 million, 50 million. And the court has been very nice. In the 2023 case, it was 40 million. In the 2025 case, it became 50 million. So if you go in 2026 and judgment is given in 2027, you may get 70 million, 80 million. But it's important that as the Police Service Commission continues this practice, remember, when the president announces this person is going and this person should replace him, the person that will be sued will not be the president, because the technical employer of the IIG in terms of law that you can sue is the Police Service Commission. So in this case, when they now sue the Police Service Commission, the Police Commission will now be fined. So what as I have seen in that in the last 2 years or 3 years, there is a 90 million debt on the Police Service Commission because they keep allowing juniors and keep compulsory deterring seniors. And for me, I think it's just a waste of human capital when we keep doing it. And it's also an abuse of power, because the court has said it is unconstitutional. So why do we keep doing it? Now, question to then ask is, Yorubas have a saying that if one wants to eat a frog, there must be a reason. Why are you seeing a frog if it doesn't have eggs? So my question is that when we retire that set of people, the person will now go to pick. Is it really worth the sacrifice? Is it worth the 90 million debt that we are going to incur? Because if any of the DIGs, for example, decide to go to court, in this case, each of them is going to get between 40 to 50 million. It's not going to be less than that. And if there are 6 to 7, that's almost 300, 400 million that may be lost by the Federation just because we are picking somebody. So my question is that, is it that this going to meet local more junior staff, more junior officer, is it because they have one outstanding performance they will do? Because at the end of the day, they get appointed and then we see the result. Because all the people that were sacked for the sake of the current the AIG that just left, of which we have seen the performance. Was it worth it? And that's my concern. That, I mean, it's understandable if you are overlooking some people because you have an outstanding Ronaldo or Messi or Osimhen or Lookman. Maybe that's why you're overlooking some players, right? But if that's not the case, why do we keep doing this, cutting short the careers of professionals, doing what is unconstitutional, what the court says is unlawful, what is also going to become null and void in the compulsory retirement of people. So this video I'm making it for anyone. If you work anywhere and they say you have to be concerned because you're junior, it doesn't have to be police, it could be anywhere. You have a respite in court, and you can go to court. National Industrial Court is one of the best things that have happened to labor relations in Nigeria, and you can go and argue that I should not face this because I did not commit any offense. Why should my tenure at work be tied to somebody else's tenure? I resume one day, this person resume another day, and then the employer chose to say this person should go and become my boss, and then you ask me to go. You can't have that right, because my tenure is not tied or conditional to that person. And in the case of the police court, in the police service, we have 2 decided cases that already tells us that it's something we should stop doing. But would we listen? I don't think so, because we keep doing this. I wish the new acting AIG all the best, Tunji Disu. I pray that God helps you. People were sacrificed for you. I hope you will do your best and maximize the opportunity, and let it be that when you now retire, we can say, oh yeah, it was worth it. And know that you will also not perform as expected. And we're wondering, so what was the point retiring this set of people when you are going to perform at the level at which you perform? But again, my name is Yomi Fawemi, trying to help you understand how the workplace works. Don't ever assume that because you work in the police or you work in any force, you don't have a recuse in labor law or in employment law. You do have a recuse. If you feel that you have been treated improperly or treated in a way not according to your rules of employment or letter of employment, you could talk to a lawyer. A lawyer will help you and will guide you whether you should go to court or not. Thank you very much.